Picture this, you've just scraped through Palace Midas, with its infamous golden hand and 1,000 gorilla enemies. You're feeling pretty good about yourself, like you're a seasoned adventurer, ready for anything. And then, you land in the next level, a sewer, the Cistern. Suddenly, that confident smirk turns into a bewildered frown, because the Cistern isn't just a level, it's a test of patience, spatial awareness, and your ability to not rage quit your console into oblivion. In this video, I'll be diving deep into a level review of Tomb Raider 1's Cistern. What makes a Cistern so special, and dare I say frustratingly brilliant? Well, for starters, it's one of the first truly multi-layered, interconnected levels in the game, where verticality and environment itself becomes your biggest puzzle. Well, that and St. Francis' Folly. You're not just running from point A to point B, you're navigating a complex ancient water system, and oh my, does it want to drown you. Aesthetically, I think it's a masterpiece of gloom and grandeur. Think crumbling ancient Roman or maybe even Egyptian architecture, but submerged. The moss-covered stone and those ominous dark water channels stretching into the unknown. It's beautiful in its decrepitude, and it perfectly sets the tone for the mysteries and dangers that lie within. It feels ancient, forgotten, and utterly hostile. It's a far cry from the sun-drenched ruins of Greece or the golden opulence of Midas. This is where things start to get serious, and significantly wetter. And let's talk about the water for a second, because in Cistern, the water is what makes the level so unique. And this is where Cistern truly starts to earn its reputation as a community-dividing level. You see, the Cistern is more than just a level, it's a giant interconnected plumbing puzzle. The core of this stage, and what makes it both ingenious and hair-pullingly frustrating, is its dynamic water level. You see, throughout the Cistern, you're constantly manipulating a lever, which will either raise or lower the water in the entire map. And this isn't just a visual gimmick, it fundamentally changes the traversable pathways. Areas that were once dry and safe become submerged, forcing you to swim, often with very little oxygen to spare. Conversely, draining the area may reveal new ledges and doorways that were previously inaccessible. It's a brilliant concept on paper, and truly punishing. It pushes the boundaries of what environmental puzzles could look like in 1996. But here's where the frustration creeps in. The execution, while innovative for its time, was also a masterclass in trial and error gameplay. How many times did you pull a lever, flood in the area, just to realise that you actually didn't need to flood it at all, and now you can't get to somewhere you needed to get to? The game doesn't hold your hand here. There are no convenient on-screen prompts or helpful arrows. You're left to figure it out through observation, memory, and lots of backtracking. To make matters worse, the creatures that call this watery labyrinth home is obviously the crocodiles. They're not just static obstacles, they're patrolling the water, waiting for you to jump in when the water level rises. These guys suddenly have a much larger hunting ground, making quick swims even more perilous. There's a constant tension here. Do I risk the swim now, or trying to find a way to clear out the crocodiles first? Sometimes, clearing them out isn't even an option until the water level changes. The constant manipulation of the environment, the need to remember whether you need to flood or drain the sewer, and the ever-present threat of drowning or being chomped by a reptile is what makes the Cistern so memorable, for better or worse. It's a test of methodical exploration, spatial reasoning, and your ability to tolerate repeated failures, which is inherent to Tomb Raider as a whole. You can't just run and gun your way through this, you have to think like an archaeologist, anticipate the consequences of your actions, and often backtrack extensively to rectify a wrong choice. It's more than just a puzzle, it's a living, breathing, and occasionally suffocating environment. This level is a complete maze. Why does Pierre turn up in the two most difficult bits of this level that you could imagine? One of them by the lever, where it's completely cramped, and the other he shows himself when you're high up on a ledge, only to start shooting you from down below. The level, all in all, is a key collection. It requires 3 main keys, 2 silver ones, and then a further gold one. And there are some real nifty elements to this level, such as the spikes, which you can't cross if the level is drained. Instead you need to flood it, and suddenly the spikes do no damage to you. That is always something I have really been fond of about the Cistern. You only see the water draining mechanic one other time throughout Tomb Raider 1, and that of course is on Sanctuary of the Scion, where you must drain the massive tomb down below in order to pull a lever and progress through the level. Therefore, in that sense, the Cistern is entirely unique, because the draining and filling of the level is the central feature, and the thing that everyone remembers the Cistern by. And in my opinion, it is placed perfectly just after Palace Midas, where you have seen a grand open environment. You are now plunged into a sewer, which is cold and closed off, and very, very difficult. So, we've navigated the murky waters, battled the ancient plumbing, and perhaps shed a few tears over the crocodiles, weirdly placed pierres, and endless backtracking. But despite all the collective groans and undeniable challenges, the Cistern holds a special, albeit contentious, place in the hearts of Tomb Raider fans. Why? Because ultimately, it's an undeniable masterclass in environmental design for its era. I mean, just think about it. In 1996, games weren't typically featuring dynamic, interactive environments of this scale. The concept of raising and lowering water levels to open up new pathways, and also the entire flow of a level, was actually quite groundbreaking. It wasn't just about unlocking the door, it was about fundamentally changing the play space, forcing players to think in 3 dimensions, and truly understand the interconnectedness of the world around them. It pushed the boundaries of what a level could be, transforming it from a simple series of rooms into a complex living puzzle box. The system perfectly encapsulates the core Tomb Raider experience, that being isolated exploration, treacherous platforming and clever environmental puzzles, and a constant sense of vulnerability against ancient dangers. When you finally figure out what the lever actually does and make that perfect jump across a gap, you fall into countless times. When you finally swim through a newly opened passage without drowning or becoming croc fodder, that sense of accomplishment is immense. It's the kind of hard-earned victory that makes the overcoming the frustration all the more rewarding. It tests your patience, true, but it also sharpens your skills. This level teaches the player the importance of observation, patience, and truly understanding the level layout. It forced you to map out connections in your mind, and to experiment and backtrack, to celebrate those small victories. For many, the system was a rite of passage, a level that separated the casual players from the dedicated Tomb Raiders. If you could conquer the system, you could conquer anything Lara Croft threw at you, including Winston. And even today, if you do go back and play it, you can appreciate the sheer ambition behind it. It's not a perfect level by any means, certainly not by modern design standards, where players often seek comfort and immediate gratification. But it is a bold level. It doesn't apologise for its difficulty or its occasional opacity. It just is. Raw, unyielding nature is part of its charm. So, all in all, while the system might evoke a sigh, a shudder, or even a visceral memory of drowning Lara for the 100th time, it also represents a pivotal moment in gaming, in my opinion. A testament to innovative level design, and a level that, for better or worse, forged a generation of Tomb Raider enthusiasts. Love it or hate it, you cannot deny its impact. Thank you all so much for watching my video on the Tomb Raider 1 level of the Cistern. Please leave a comment down below whether you love this level or whether you hate this level and why. As always, thank you to my members for the continued support, and to you, thank you for watching.